Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm playing around with numbers and weight. There's a lot of different ways to pack food, we all know that, and everybody has their own way of doing things. And I've had some preconceived notions here, and because I've got a fair amount of time on my hand lately, I'm trying to figure out the actual lightest way, taking everything into consideration. Now, some people carry completely prepared food. They don't even carry a stove or fuel or anything. And I've always thought of that as being probably the heaviest way to go, because anything prepared, like, this can of chili, which you can just snap the lid on and take a spoon and start eating. Don't have to wait for it to cook or anything. Don't need to add any water. You're ready. But that weighs 17 ounces. That weighs over a pound. On the other hand, if you eat this entire can of chili with beans, me personally, and I'm going to make a judgment here on everything, on my ability to, my volume, what I would eat and be full. I can't speak for anybody else, but as long as I always do that on myself, everything will be even. So if I ate one of these complete, I would be full. That would be a meal. And it's only 17 ounces. Yeah, I've got to pack out the can, but it's still only 17 ounces. Now, on the other hand, if I take and eat one of these, which is Mountain House mac and cheese, I can tell you, I can eat this whole thing, and in a couple hours I'm going to be hungry again. This freeze-dried stuff just doesn't stay with you. I don't know why, but it doesn't. That's for me personally. Now, this weighs 8 ounces. Now, here's the catcher. 8 ounces is not that much, but it takes 16 ounces of water to rehydrate it. So now you're up to a pound and 8 ounces, which is 24 ounces. And the chili was only 17. So actually this, with the water, is 8 ounces heavier, half a pound heavier than this can of chili, and it doesn't fill you up for as long. Well, now, when you get the way you're going to eat, you know there's always going to be water, then this is probably the better way to go, because you don't have to add in the weight of the water. On the other hand, if I'm starting out at the base of Barren Mountain and I'm going to go up to the summit and spend the night at the summit, I can tell you right now there's no water from the base up to the summit a lot of the year. Sometimes there is. But it's a pretty sure thing that when I get to the summit there isn't going to be any water unless it's rained just recently. So I'm probably 75% chance going to have to lug my water up to the summit for this meal. So if you're going to lug the water, then you've got to add it into the weight of the meal. So that makes this a 24-ounce meal where the can of chili is only 17. The other water you'd be carrying just for general consumption is even up either way with either meal, so you don't have to figure that in. So you can see, if you really do the math and start thinking about your particular situation, then you can save yourself a lot of weight and a lot of time and trouble. But you really got to know where you're going to be when you eat what. For another example, if I take this meal, which only weighs 8 ounces, and I go over the summit and go all the way into Cloud Pond, which is about another mile to the entrance of Cloud, and another half a mile through an unmaintained trail to Cloud Pond. Once I get there, there's a spring. So I don't have to carry the water for that. I can get the water once I get to my destination. So this would only be an 8-ounce meal, which would make it 10 ounces lighter than this. But if I'm going to eat at the summit, it's 8 ounces heavier. So you see my point of view, and it's something you have to really know. If you're going to do this game, you have to really know where you're going to be when you eat the meal. And you have to figure, okay, at this place I'm going to eat this meal. And for example, if you were going to go to the summit and then to Cloud Pond, you'd want to eat probably this meal at the summit and save this one for Cloud Pond, so you wouldn't have to carry the extra pound of water. As far as the fuel it takes to heat the water up to rehydrate this, you've got to carry a stove and fuel for that. But if you want to heat this up and eat it hot, you've got to have fuel to heat this up too. So that's pretty much, and the amount of fuel you use to heat up 2 cups of water is like, less than an ounce. So it doesn't really enter into it. It's a very, very small amount. And the stove is something you're probably going to carry anyway, because sooner or later, sometime, you're going to want to, you know, heat up coffee water or heat up a meal, especially if it's cool, or boil water to rehydrate. So you're going to be carrying a stove anyway. You know, and the whole stove off is going to weigh like 4 ounces. So it's, and since you're using it day in, day after day after day, it's really adds up to almost nothing per day. So that kind of gives you something to think about. I'm going to do some more math here and do a couple more videos on this and just give you some idea of how much this can add up. Because if you figure this out right, you could shave 3 pounds off your food for a couple-day hike, and that's pretty big. And if you did it wrong, you could really add up 3 pounds. So it's fairly significant. So I'm Tinny, Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, eat some really great meals, and more important than anything, have a really great day. Bye-bye.